You're a pterodactyl? Your name is Pike? Shields said. Pike made a barking sound. His own name? His beak dipped precariously close to Jocelyn's throat. How old are you? She asked. But Jocelyn was slumping again. Pike caught her, and Shields held open the door. As they passed through clumsily, she glanced again at the form. He was 18. Really? He was coming in practically over age. Another line on the form read, "Explanation for lost time, other commitments." The nurse was there. Someone must have told her something exceptional was happening. With only a short, frightened glance at Pike, she pulled Jocelyn into her office and closed the door. Shields was left standing alone with the pterodactyl, with Pike, in the otherwise empty hallway. But a huge crowd was gathered at the doorway, staring in at them. His torso was heaving. Those pecs. That fur. It was as if he were a museum exhibit she needed to touch. But she restrained herself. How to talk to him? "I'm afraid you've made a terrible mistake," she began. His head angle changed. "You've arrived at the end of the school day, not the beginning." His eyes narrowed. "You need to come back at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Understand?" She held the paper out to him. She hated her hand for shaking, but this was an unusual situation. "And our principal, Mr. Manneberg, can be a stickler for details. You're going to have to do a much better job with your personal information. All right?" As if the mighty Manneberg himself would be a far more terrible adversary. Huh. Pike snatched the sheet in his beak, twisted backward gymnastically, and tucked it into his backpack. "Where are you from, anyway? What are you doing here?" When his beak was shut, his jaw naturally curved upward in a devious grin. The light glistened in his eyes. He turned and, moving on all fours, his wings folded umbrella-like. He was at the doors and through in a liquid instant. The crowd massed there. It looked like half the school. Parted quickly enough, but his pink sheet fluttered. Did someone pluck it from his pack? Shields wasn't sure what she saw. It took a moment to follow him through the doors. That sheet was being passed around while football players laughed, and Pike watched them all with quiet, still eyes. Shields' phone throbbed, but there wasn't time. "Give it back!" she yelled at Jeremy Jeffries, the quarterback who now held the pink sheet gleefully. "He's going to be a student here just like you." Jeffries scoffed, though in his other hand he held his helmet as if he might need a weapon. "Hey, freshman," he called to Pike. "You're 18 already? What you been doing all these years?" As terrible as Pike's beak and claws looked, Shields saw that the crowd could tear him to shreds, if she allowed it. "He had other commitments," she declared. A howl of laughter engulfed the group. "What?" the quarterback chortled. "Fighting off woolly mammoths?" Shields grabbed back the pink sheet. "Haven't you ever heard of personal privacy?" She stared down the quarterback until he glanced away. Then she tucked the sheet more securely into the pterodactyl's backpack and raised her voice so others might hear. "I think you'll find a welcoming environment at Vista View. We're honored that you chose to come here." Pike was glancing backward at the doors to the school. He seemed to be worried. For Jocelyn? But then he hunched forward again. He really seemed quite small when he was on all fours, and exploded upward. Shields, Jeffries, everyone staggered backward in the shock of the moment, as if they had been standing too close to a geyser. Shields' phone throbbed again. Manneberg.